And now, RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show.
Good evening and welcome to RSM, Rams Sports Magazine Show. I'm your host, Anthony Keith. It's a brand new season not only for this show, but for the CSU football team, who begins play this Saturday against conference foe, New Mexico. Starting their season out with a conference game means they'll either be on the top of the Mountain West or the bottom. I'm going to start things off on this show, checking in with Steve Fairchild as he spoke earlier this week about their matchup on Saturday.
All our preparation goes towards New Mexico as we start this week. When you look at them offensively, obviously they're a much improved football team. We'll prepare for both quarterbacks. They've got backs that have played. They've really helped themselves at the wide receiver spot with some influx of talent, and they were good there. They've got some good guys coming back as well, so and a good tight end. So we'll have to be very sharp defensively, and then offensively preparing for a 4-2-5 scheme, which is a little bit different, which is a switch they've made, and again, that'll challenge us offensively. But we're happy to be in a game week. Very excited to get back into this season, get back to playing somebody else. And make no mistake about it, we know our football program, our players understand how paramount this game is Saturday.
That was Steve Fairchild earlier this week. Here's what the head honcho and several of his players had to say at the beginning of fall camp. After two consecutive 3-9 seasons, the CSU football team expects to turn things around in 2011.
I mean, obviously it puts a little more pressure on us, but I think we all thrive on pressure, and I think we're going to shock some people this fall.
It looks like we're in better shape, and you can also tell from an experience factor we're probably farther along we've ever been at this point.
Everyone seems to have one goal as they begin preparations for their first game against conference rival New Mexico.
We're going to the bowl game this year. I mean, we have the talent, we have the skill, and we have the dedication, and we just believe that we're going to make that happen. So when everybody believes and everybody gives in, that's when we can be a great team. So definitely, we're going to make a bowl game this year. I'm real confident about that, and I think everyone else is confident about that. Believe that we can do big things this year, and that's what we're trying to do, lead by example and just lead this team the right way. So.
One of the lone seniors, offensive lineman Paul Mattson, is excited for his final college season, but has decided to put his focus on each individual game.
I'd love to go to a bowl game, but the most important thing is taking each game as they come, preparing as well as we can for each one, and I think we're doing that, and I think we're going to surprise people this season.
Plenty of eyes are on quarterback Pete Thomas this season. On the practice field this fall camp, nobody seems more ready than the Rams' starting QB. In 2010, as a true freshman, he had his fair share of learning experiences as he threw 13 interceptions and was sacked a whopping 44 times, all while struggling to fight through a shoulder injury he kept a secret the entire year. In fall camp, Thomas showed no signs of that injury and appears to have made a full recovery. So I spoke one-on-one with the big man on campus after Monday's practice, just days away from the first game. For the first episode of the season, I'm joined by Pete Thomas. Last year, he was known as the true freshman. This year, you're a sophomore. And so I got to know, what's that put on your shoulders entering this season with, honestly, you had an awesome season last year. What are you doing entering this season?
There's just a lot of expectations I have for myself and that the community has for the team. And I think overall, we're going to live up to those, have a great season.
And what are your expectations, both individually and for the team?
We got to make a bowl game as a team and win that bowl game. Anything less than that is unacceptable.
A week before that New Mexico game, how'd your fall camp go? What did you take away from the past few weeks before this first game?
It was a pretty solid fall camp. We really came together as a team, had a lot of good practices, and we're just looking forward to playing someone else.
And you broke a few records last year. Obviously, the completion record was 647, more than 2,600 yards, 11 touchdowns. Again, touching on that individual, what do you want to do as a quarterback? You said yourself you're always growing. You're going to be growing at a professional level. What do you want to do in that quarterback position?
I got to cut down on interceptions, be better on third down in the red zone, and not take as many sacks. Those are the things that I'm really focusing on. And I feel like I've gotten better at them, and it helps to just have more experience for myself and to be better in sync with the receivers and the running backs and O-line.
Cut and dry, I like that. Now last year, Lobos, you beat them 38-14. It was really a big explosive game for you guys as a team as far as the confidence level goes. You yourself, you had some bombs there. Do you think this season Fairchild is going to let you work that arm a little more?
I'm hoping so. I feel like I'm a lot better quarterback than I am. Our O-line's better, our receivers are better, everyone's better, and I think we're going to work that into the game plan a little more.
I mean, I feel like I have the trust of Coach Fairchild now, and so he believes he can call him.
Now, Fairchild mentioned earlier in a press conference the 4-2-5 defense with New Mexico. Are you really focused on that this week? I mean, what are the coaches really going over with?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be ready for anything they try to throw at us, and so far, I mean, we've been watching a lot of tape and film, and we'll be ready for anything they throw at us.
Now, a lot of the students, some of the team, the Colorado guys are upset that it's not the CU game for the first game. It's a conference game, but for you, coming from out of state, is that better that it's a conference game? You can start the season out on top or on bottom.
Right. I mean, I think this is a great opening game for us. It's a must-win game for us, and it's a must-win game for New Mexico, too, and it's going to be a great battle down there in Albuquerque on Saturday.
Obviously, last question. You're the first returning quarterback since Caleb Haney back in 2007. What do you think that does for the team?
I mean, I think it just it gives the team a lot more confidence. I have a lot more confidence in myself, but it's not just me. I mean, we have 9-10 returning starters on offense. We got Mike Sisson and a bunch of returners on defense, so there's a lot of experience coming back on both sides of the ball.
Gotta love the experience. Young team, but experienced team, especially with that O-line.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show this week. And like you mentioned, Michael Sisson, he's up next. Stay tuned.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5. You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
We heard from Pete Thomas. Now we're going to switch to the other side of the ball with linebacker Michael Sisson, who's entering his senior season. Last year, you might have known with the 7 forced fumbles, led the nation. So this is really a guy who needs no introduction. Talking on that senior season, I mean, what does this season mean to you, your last of your collegiate career?
It's always a big season, especially it's my last go around, I want to try to go out with a bang, and just try to, spark things for our upcoming freshmen, in the season next year. So if we can do big things this year, it'll be great.
Talking about upcoming freshmen, there's 7 true freshmen traveling with you guys to the New Mexico game. On the defensive side of the ball, you've really stepped up as the vocal leader. So what's been different in this fall camp taking on that leadership role?
For me, it's just talking more. I'm not the guy that just goes out and just talks a lot. So I gotta just be more vocal, and try to encourage guys, and try to get everybody on the same page and stay focused. Because there's a lot of distractions going on. A lot of things can happen from time to time. So if I can be that guy to just encourage people and get everybody on the right track, we'll be all right.
Every team needs a Sisson. Now, there has been some troubles in that middle linebacker spot. Obviously, Michael Kowalik out, and then another issue. But aside from that, how strong is this defense heading into the season?
It's real strong. We're coming in with a lot more speed this year. We got a lot of depth at all our positions now. Last year, we got hit by injuries, and we couldn't. It was hard to fill shoes. So now, if a guy goes down, the next person's going to step up in there, and just give that same effort, if not more effort. So, that's the good thing about this year. We coming in with a lot more depth at every position.
I like that word, depth. There we go. Now that it's closer, you've been asked this a few times, but the fact that you guys are starting out the season with a conference game, you go into this game, you win, you're on top of the Mountain West. You lose, you're on the bottom. How important is this game to you?
This is probably one of the most important games that we can and we're going to play this year, because like you said, we're either going to be at the top or the bottom, And if we can get that win, it'll put us at the top, but then it also, spark a winning streak. It'll put confidence in a lot of guys' hearts, and we'll just keep on rolling after that. So hopefully we can go down there and get that W.
This Lobos team is a team that went 1-11 last season, and I mean, you guys had an explosive game, a 38-14 victory over them. Does that give you just a ton of confidence heading into this, or is too much confidence?
It could give us a little too much confidence just because of that score last year, But at the same time, it's a totally different team this year. They got different guys in different positions that can make plays for them this year that we've heard of. So we just got to take it like any other game. Don't say that we're going to go down there and blow them out. Don't go over there trying to be too cocky or confident. Just go down there and just play your game. Hopefully it'll work out to our way. Just go down there and try and get a W.
Great attitude to have. Now I'm going to sidestep for a little bit. Some of you viewers might have looked up Michael on Wikipedia, and we just need to put a rumor to rest here. It says that your pregame food is babies, I believe. Is that a true statement, or do you want to put some falsities, Matt Yum, to an end here.
Exactly. You know, I was there the day that Matt Yum did that. You know, we was in a computer lab. You know, Matt Yum thought it would be funny if he would put that, you know, and see how long it would stay up there. And obviously, it has stuck. Nobody has went up there and tried to change it. And, so it's kind of funny that people really ask me, you know, do I really do that? So it's not true. I don't eat children.
It's team bonding in a way, you know.
To joke around about, you know, and have fun with. So
well, having fun. This team, I hear a lot of players saying it's like a family. What's your chemistry like with the defense, with the entire team?
You know, at times, you know, we kind of had that love-hate relationship. You know, at times, you know, we kind of argue, you know, just like brothers do. You know, argue, but we love each other. You know, and we always looking for everybody's best interest. You know, so I know we love each other out there. We're always communicating. We're always having fun. You know, joking around with each other. But there's always a serious side, especially when we come on the field. You know, on Saturdays, you know, Coach always He wants to have fun, but at the same time be serious. So if we can do that, you know, have fun, but take care of business, it'll be all great.
This is my last question, Michael. Some of the fans out there have picked up the 2011 season schedule, the posters, and you're featured on one of them. I got to know, the look you're going for, is it intimidation? Is it the lady killer look? What are you trying to achieve with that?
I guess it was kind of intimidation, you know. If I was a lady killer, you know, I'd probably try another pose, you know, a little GQ pose, but nah.
It's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes.
You know, so that's how you look at it. So, but nah, it's just that intimidation pose, you know, just trying to spark a little fear in guys if they.
There we go. That's what it's really all about there. Well, Michael, I want to thank you so much for joining on the show. Good luck against New Mexico. First game, first conference game. But stay tuned because coming up after the break, I go to the running backs and speak with Derek Good.
You are watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
The CSU Rams returned 3 of their top 5 running backs this season, and the battle for the #1 spot has been a tough one.
There's 3 of us, and it doesn't matter who's in there, one of us is going to make a play, and I feel like we back each other up 100%.
All 3 candidates, Raymond Carter, Derek Good, and Chris Woke, have taken turns with the first and second string offenses this fall camp.
I think we get the job done. You know, whoever in, we count on each other to get the job done, and I believe in the person that's going to get the job done.
If no one can separate themselves from the group, we may see a running back by committee approach this season. All 3 of these Rams wouldn't mind that tactic at all.
And we're behind each other, and when that one person's in there, it doesn't matter if it's me, Ray, or Chris, you know, we go in there and we give them full support, and when they make a big play, we congratulate them. If I make a big play, they congratulate me, and it just, you know, we feel like a family, so.
Woke is the youngest of the 3. He redshirted his first year and played in 9 games with 3 starts last season. The Thunder Ridge High School grad averaged 4.8 yards on 74 carries. In the final game of the season against the Wyoming Cowboys, he led the offense in rushing yards with 70.
Everybody's really excited, you know, counting it down and doing everything perfect in practice to get their minds and their bodies ready for the games.
Raymond Carter, also a senior, was the 2010 starter at the beginning of the season until a sprained knee sidelined him midway through. He compiled 235 yards on 65 carries for 1 touchdown and also caught 15 passes for 163 yards for 3 touchdowns.
We all count on each other. You know, the main focus this year is just to win games, and that's all we're worried about.
I'm joined by running back Derek Good. Now, Derek, this is your senior season. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. You know, finally, my senior season, I'm finally, you know, getting in the rotation at running back, doing kick returns again. You know, it's time to start making some plays and, you know, do something for the team.
Speaking on the kick returns, as many fans know, last season, midway through the season, you were the nation's leader. You know, can we expect that again some point through this season with you and it's Woke joining you in the back, right?
Yeah. No, you know, every time I go out there, you know, I'm just trying to do my best, you know. So whatever that brings me, great. But I just plan on going out there, giving it my all, and, you know, hopefully setting another record or something.
There you go. Getting so many rotations in, you know, the 3 running backs. We've got you, Raymond Carter, Chris Woke. What's that experience been like, making that huge transition, knowing, hey, I'm going to get to play a lot here?
You know, I think we like it. All 3 of us, we back each other up pretty well. We're like a family. And so it doesn't matter who's in there. We sit there and we encourage them to do well. No matter who's in there, it can be me, and, you know, both of them are sitting back there telling me what I did right, what I did wrong, and same goes for both of them, you know, as well. And I think we have a good rotation going, and I think we have a good communication between each other, and a good cushion, I guess.
Yeah, cushions are always good. Everybody likes cushions.
Yeah.
What do each of you bring to the table from your eyes?
Well, you know, I think we all have a different running style. I mean, if you watch all three of us run, you're not going to see us making the same moves, and I think that's what keeps us, you know, it's hard to prepare for us because you don't know which one's going to be back there and you don't know which one's going to be running the ball. So.
Do you think it's kind of be like a, you know, Raymond Carter getting the start, you taking over midfield, and then Woke on the goal line, or is it going to be just completely random, whatever Fairchild feels he's going with?
Yeah, you know, we haven't really heard about what it's going to be or whatnot in every practice, even in the game-like practice that we had this weekend. You know, it was just a rotation every other play. I don't know if we have a starter yet or what it is, but I think we're comfortable with whatever they throw at us, you know.
I like hearing that. This Saturday, New Mexico. That was a standout game for you last year, 44-yard return.
Yeah.
Does that give you a bit of confidence heading into this game, knowing that the ground game against them last year was so strong and you yourself made some big plays?
Well, I think just the biggest thing is that we go in and we're prepared and ready. I feel like we've prepared ourselves well, and I feel like through camp and even through all of spring, you know, that's what we've been waiting for this first game. And I think that's all that matters is just preparing. And I feel like we're all prepared. I feel like I'm prepared, and I hope that brings good things, good news.
What are you taking from this fall camp then?
Getting comfortable, really. You know, it's finally we're able to push aside what our assignments are going through our heads, you know, while a play's going, and rather just going with our instincts. I mean, you know what you got to do, you know what your play is, and then you just play off of it. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've learned as a group, as well as we're comfortable back there, all three of us.
Last question before we let you go here. What's your excitement level for the entire season?
Oh, I'm stoked. You know, this is something I've been waiting for ever since I was a little kid. You know, I've been finally getting the opportunity to run at running back and once again doing kick returns. Like I said, the first day I came in here, I just wanted playing time, that's all. I just want to go out there and make the best plays I can for the team, not just for me necessarily, but, you know, I want to help the team out.
And we're all excited to see that. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
CSU volleyball team's fall camp has been full of competition for starting roles.
I mean, it's pretty high. We're both coming in every day and competing really hard to try to fight for that spot, so and it's definitely pushing us to be better.
Head coach Tom Hilbert lost 4 starters from last season, and a vast majority of the team is made up of underclassmen.
I think it's important for me to be patient and realize that we need to play our best in October and November. And we may have a different lineup in October than we do coming out of the gates. And as a coach, you have to be patient in a situation like this.
The Rams did fall on the road to Tom Hilbert's alma mater, Oklahoma, dropping 3 straight sets. Their biggest challenge and possibly their most important non-conference game is this Friday against number 5 Nebraska. And the Rams need Moby filled. Here's the lone senior of the team, Caitlin Steffen, talking about Moby Magic.
I think we need to bring the Moby Magic back that we've had.
Moby Magic. It's what gives the CSU Rams volleyball team the home advantage.
Awesome. I think that Moby Magic and that madness that Moby brings just needs to stay alive and help us win games here.
Opposite hitter Caitlin Steffen enters her senior season as the Rams team captain. She's the only senior on the entire team as she takes on the leadership role for the first time.
I don't know if there's any difference that I've really had. I think coming through it, having 4 years of experience underneath my belt, you kind of learn to step into that role a lot easier. And I have great upperclassmen in my junior class that push me every day too.
Prior to the season start, the country has already recognized the Rams as the number 15 team. On top of that, the Mountain West Conference coaches predicted CSU to claim the conference title again this season. For Steffen, the preseason recognition adds both confidence and pressure.
I think there's 2 different approaches. I think one can push confidence and one can, you have to come out and you have to play every night and you have to play at this high pedestal that people put you on, and you have to be ready to show up and play like number 15 in the country.
At last season's home opener against Duke, the Rams drew more than 6,300 fans to their home court. This season, they desire a little more of that Moby Magic than ever, with the hope of a sellout.
I think the Nebraska one sticks out the best for all of us. I mean, everyone knows the name Nebraska, and it's definitely a big name school, and I think we're ready to take on a big name school, and just kind of like we played Florida in the past years. They're just big schools that everyone knows about.
With such an inexperienced team, the Rams require a few tricks up their sleeves in order to live up to all the preseason hype. And to pull that off, Steffen just asks for a little Moby Magic from the fans this season.
That'll do it this week for RSM, but tune in next week when I check in with the football team to see whether they're on the top of the Mountain West Conference or the bottom. And as for the volleyball team, I'll have highlights from their match against number 5 Nebraska. Catch you next week.